Hey guys, good morning. It's Becky Bamboo. Today is Monday, September 14th, 2015. Today is my weigh-in day, and I am super excited to share my weigh-in this week. So last week, you guys might remember I gained a pound. I went back up from 239 up to 240. Today I'm down to 234, which means I lost that pound plus 5 more, which is excellent. I have really watched myself the last week. Gaining a pound was kind of maybe that little drive I needed to tweak things and try to figure out where I need to be, my sweet spot for right now. Life changes, our activity levels change, and right now, since I'm not working, I'm not burning nearly as many calories as what I typically do on a day that I work. When I'm at work, I'm nonstop on my feet for 12 to 16 hours. So it's, those days are going to be a whole new shift of what I'm doing right now. But for now, what I'm finding is to try to stay about 1,000 calories a day is apparently a good number for me to be able to actively lose weight. Plus, doing some sort of walking every day. So most of the week, actually all 5 days last week, Monday through Friday, I walked the treadmill anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour, just depending on the day, how I was feeling, how much pain I was having at the time. Basically, my mission has been, since I started back, minimum of 30 minutes a day. So I exceeded that by quite a bit, and my husband had to work Saturday, so it really wasn't on my radar that I was going to be able to walk, because the days that I have my kids, it's really difficult for me to do anything. But my dad ended up coming in to visit. He wanted to go. He camped near the house, about 15 miles from where we live, and I know I've talked about it before, but where I live, we have lots of these amazing bike trails. They're great for running, walking, biking, whatever. There's just hundreds of miles of them where I am, which is really cool. And you can ride them all over the place. You can ride them into the city, you can ride them to the river, like whatever. So every couple of years, my dad likes to come down and camp and ride the trails. He loves to bike, and there's so much stuff to do around where we live. So that's what he was doing, and he rode his bike over here to the house and spent the afternoon with me and the kids. And I decided when he got here, he was going to take my son to the park, and I said, there's a park that he had never been to with my son, and I said, it has this really beautiful trail for me to walk, so let's do that. Let's go over there. You can help me get the baby in the stroller, and I can just push her, and we can walk the trail. I can walk the trail, you can play with Zeke on the playground, whatever. So that's what we did. So I got 35-minute walk in on Saturday, and then Sunday morning, my husband and I got up. It's just the weather has been unbelievable this weekend where we are. So I got up and we said, let's take the kids over to the park again today. So we did that. I walked for an hour while my husband and son played around and walked and did whatever. And I still got my fitness in over the weekend, even having the kids. That will not happen every weekend by any means because, well, for one, the weather's never going to cooperate and things like that. So, I'll take it where I can get it. Let's just leave it at that. So, I did really well. So for the last 8 days in a row, I have walked, which is really good. And I'm obviously going to be continuing that streak this week. Basically, every day that I don't have my kids is a mandatory day for me to walk. And then, at least one of the weekend days, I try to do it. Now, that's hard sometimes because my husband's been having to work some weekends. And so that leaves me with the kids by myself. And it's pretty hard to be able to fit that in. And, my son is so interested in the treadmill that all he does is just sit down there and just complain that he wants his turn. And so trying to just do anything for very long is hard with little kids. So, I do what I can, and that's all I can do. So 5 pounds or 6 pounds down this week was really, I needed it mentally more than anything to know that all of this hard work that I've been doing is I'm on the right track, I'm on the right path, I'm doing what I need to do, and that there's results happening. So I'm down 15 total from kind of when I've gotten back to this, which is pretty amazing because I've really only been doing it 3 or 4 weeks now. So I'm very excited about that. I have been really consistent with everything. The one thing I want to talk about today is talk about how difficult the weekend was for me eating-wise. When my dad came Saturday, I wasn't expecting him to take us out to eat, but he did. We went out for lunch, and that really threw a curveball to me because I wasn't prepared for going out, so I hadn't looked ahead to see. A lot of times what I do is if I know I'm going to go somewhere, I'll look at the menu ahead of time because everybody's got online menus now, which is nice, and most of the restaurants have nutrition information up. So you can kind of make good choices based on that. And so I didn't have time to do any of that, and I just had to make a choice on the fly. And while I didn't make a bad choice per se, it was just not a real high protein choice. So I found that I was pretty hungry most of the day on Saturday, which was hard. And then Sunday, after we took the kids to the park, we decided to do a little bonfire in our backyard, and my husband's been wanting to grill hot dogs or roast hot dogs over a fire for a while, so that's what we did. And hot dogs are not the greatest of foods to eat, and they're just not. Let's just be honest, they're just not. And so what I found was, based on the choices of food I made yesterday, I was hungry all day long, like all day hungry. And that's the first day I've really felt like that and really had to fight through that. I've been trying to keep my calories about 1,000. I've had a couple of days where I've gone over, and Sunday was one of those days. I was still under 1,200 calories for the day, which is really good, that's still good, but the problem was that I was hungry all day because I made the choices of food that I had were higher calorie and lower protein, so they didn't keep me full and satisfied. And in a way that was good because it kind of made me see and made me realize that all the other stuff I have been eating has really been doing the job it's designed to do. So I need to try to remain focused on, super high protein items. And I'm struggling getting enough fiber in my diet right now. So that's kind of my mission today, is to try to, research some higher fiber foods and get some more fiber in my diet. And I'm really, I'm trying to get some variety going. I don't want to eat, a chicken breast every day or whatever, salad every day or, whatever. I'm not that kind of person. I like variety, and if I had to eat the same thing every week, I would get really, really bored. So I've been testing, cooking differently and some different things, and some things have worked for us and some things haven't, and that's okay. It's just about trying it, and so that's kind of what I've been doing, and obviously it's working. This last week was really a productive week for me in that department. So I'm pretty proud today. And it's good motivation for me to keep the train rolling in the right direction. It takes a long time to get yourself back into where this becomes habit, where this becomes natural, where this becomes your everyday lifestyle. It takes a long time to get to that, so you got to be really consistent and really aware and really put that effort in for a long time before it becomes that way. So I'm marching forward, and that's all that I can really do. But it's been good for me to realize that I can still do this. I was really really scared to start back doing it, and really more than that, just scared to tell anybody that I was starting back doing it, because I was really afraid I was going to fail and not be able to juggle all of this, to juggle being a mom and focusing on my health while I'm basically not healthy. I have a pretty serious thing going on with my body right now, and so fighting constant pain plus all of this other stuff, I just didn't know if I would be able to juggle it. But it just goes to show that we truly are stronger than what we give ourselves credit for, and we can do so much more than what maybe we believe or what we think. It's just a matter of mentally getting yourself focused and saying, like, what I do is, at the end of the day, I've had a couple of days at the end of the day where I've only had 800 or 900 calories, and I know that my limit is 1,000. So if I, want something sweet to eat, or I want a treat, then those are the days I allow myself to have it. Otherwise, if I get ready to go to bed and I've already had like 1,000 or 1,062 or however many calories, I say you can't have it. And that's just how I've been looking at it, is you cannot have it. End of discussion. It's not like I can talk myself into it. It's just, I'm not justifying it. No, you're not having it. So, and that's how I was at the very beginning of this. It was, following the week by week diet that I had been given by my surgeon post-op, and that went for, I don't even remember now, to be honest, 6 or 8 weeks post-op, where every week you could add in a little bit more foods and different textured foods and things like that, and then had a pretty well, like, a guideline of what you should be eating every day, and that's what I did. And anything outside of that, for the first year, I pretty much didn't eat anything outside of that. And then slowly life starts coming around, and you start, finding yourself in social situations where, hey, it's so-and-so's birthday at work, there's a cake. Well, okay, I'll have a little bit of cake. And then, it just kind of progresses from there. And that's where it's dangerous for us post-op people. That's when it starts to get really hard. Not to say that we can't enjoy a treat every now and then, but when you start letting those things in, it becomes really easy to say, well, I had that last time, so it's okay if I do it now. And then before you know it, it's like every week you're doing that. So, I'm just trying to kind of get back to reality is more what it is. The reality is that I need to be strict with myself on what I eat every day, every single day. And, every once in a while when it's, my son's birthday or my daughter's birthday or my birthday or, a special occasion and I want to have a treat, I'll have a treat. But it's not going to be an every week thing like it has been. It wasn't even every week. It was every day. It was every day thing for me. So, I really feel lucky that I haven't gained any more than I have gained, to be honest with you guys, and how loose I had gotten with my post-op diet. So back to reality, back to the grind, and I'm feeling so much better. My body is just thanking me for feeding it the right things, and that's where we have to focus. So still, no drinking with meals. That's working so much better for me. I have found my tea latte, which I am thoroughly enjoying the tea latte. I drink pretty much 1 or 2 a day. I initially, when I first made them, I only had vitamin D milk at my house because that's what kids drink. And so I got myself some skim milk finally, and the taste is exactly the same with whatever milk you use. And this has, the vitamin D milk was 150 calories and 8 grams of protein, and my skim milk is 90 calories and 8 grams of protein. So much better of a ratio, so many less calories. And when you're only eating 1,000 calories a day, let me tell you, 60 calories is a lot of calories. To save those there has been a big help. And today I tried making one without the milk. I just made basically a tea with some flavored syrup in it just to see what it would taste like. And you know what? I found that I was pretty satisfied with that as well. Now, obviously you don't get the protein with it, but it's no calories to do it that way. So, at the end of the day, when I'm wanting something to drink that's hot and warm, that may be where I'll go instead of the actual latte. I'll just have a cup of hot tea. So, I love tea. I'm a tea drinker anyway. So yes, good week for me, and some things to think about for people out there who are trying to get back on track like me. No water with meals, high protein, be aware of your calories. And, calories to protein ratios make a big difference in how full you stay. And, tell yourself no. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say no. And that's where I'm at. So I'll check in with you guys later in the week. See ya.